Draftamania. It is the first annual Poprika Draftamania. It's me, your boy, C, the host.
Draftamaniac?
Yeah, Draftamania. Yes, it's
Draftamaniacs. Pete is my top pick.
We are here, man. If this is the first time you ever listen to a draft, what we do is usually there are four of us. We choose some topic and we draft fantasy football style, whatever that topic is. But because this is Draftamania, things are a little bit different. There are seven of us, all previous draft winners, man. So this is the contest of champions we got going on here. And the topic, very fittingly, is straight drama. So we're going to drama this up. Drama. And see what it's all about, man. Let's make our way around the board. We have the three-time champ with us here, Mr. Jermon Jackson. How are you doing today? The first Poprika Test Your Might champion.
Yes, inaugural, yes.
All right, then. You're here ready to draft. We have with us two-time draft champ, Mr. Brian Martin, the current Test Your Might champion. How are you doing, sir?
Hell yeah. Current and forever. Hey, seriously though, guys, I got a WrestleMania party to get to, so we got to get this thing cracking. Also, we have a one-time champ, Mr. Joel Winstead. How are you, sir?
One not done. Good. Hey, gang.
One not done. All right, we'll see how that works out. We have also one-time draft champ, Miss Leslie Ellsworth. How are you, ma'am?
I am doing very well, thank you.
All right, then.
Planning on having a very great afternoon or evening or whenever you're listening to this.
We're going to have a great whenever you're listening to this.
You were planning on having a great afternoon. I reminded you this was happening today.
And last but not least, we have the current draft champion, the one holding all the power, all the belts, all the records, Miss Carol Coles. How are you today, Carol?
I'm doing good. This is the third thing I've recorded today, so if my voice suddenly just drops off, it's because I've been talking all day.
Yeah, you're on a roll.
Carol won that last draft by what, one vote?
By one vote.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it had gotten that close. I knew it was close.
A host of refried scenes, by the way. Yeah.
Voting matters.
See, your vote matters, Poprika. It was a difference between Brian getting what that would have been his third and Carol coming out of nowhere. Oh, and also Pete Wentz, man. We can't forget about Pete Wentz, one-time draft champ. Yeah. Pete, unfortunately, unable to be with us. Time is recording as it is his birthday dinner currently. So he said, what better time to not have Pete at something than
he actually said, if it's Zoom, I might be able to do it. Like his ass was just going to sit at the table with all his friends on Zoom.
Which is wild, which is when I said, Pete, we want to do it Sunday at this time. He's like, oh, I can't because I'll be doing my birthday dinner. That was like 2 weeks ago. And all of a sudden today, he's like, oh, that's right. I can't because of my birthday dinner. I'm like, yes, Pete, you've already told me this once beforehand. A byproduct of getting old, I have Pete's list. I will be drafting on behalf of Pete, thanks to the list that he's given me. And I solemnly swear to uphold the sanctity of the Pete Lentz list. With that being said, man, we have already got our layout.
The what was that? But you uphold the what?
The sanctity.
Sanctity.
Very Pete.
How many breasts are in his list?
Oh, at least 48. At least.
Oh, it's an odd number. It's like
well, Total Recall, it couldn't quite fit.
I was going to say, it's Total Recall in there.
Star Trek 5 couldn't get it.
Like, the order of my films are based on a basic ratio of minutes of film to number of titties.
I just want to cut that out. Warning. Make that my ringtone for Pete when he calls. All right, this is our draft order, man. There's 7 of us. We'll only be drafting 5 as opposed to our normal 10. So you're not going to get your full 40 list, but you get 35, so you're still close. We have at number 1, Joel Winstead of Winstead Reviews. We have number 2, the always incomparable Pete Lentz. We have number 3, trivia host Brian Martin. We have number 4, Jermon Juicy J. Jackson. We have 5, myself, the host of this bit of business. We have 6, the always wonderful Leslie Ellsworth. And we have 7, the host of Refried Scenes, Carol J. Coles. Do we have any questions, any thoughts? Now we've all done at least one of these. You prepped for 10 before. Was there any difference prepping for just 5?
Yeah, trying to narrow it
Yes.
down.
Chaos.
Yeah. I feel like you can't have any sleepers on your list. You can't be on cruise control at any point. All 5 got to be bangers. You got to come out the gate swing.
Pretty much.
I think it's harder to develop a list based on the number of participants rather than the length of the list. If I were, that's what made it difficult, because I feel like sniping is going to happen on a massive scale here, because we're all fighting for the same juicy morsels.
The same 5 movies.
I have a feeling that there will be some tossed out here that might have to go to jury of whether or not they're actually drama. So be prepared to present.
They're all on Jermon's list.
They're all
Every single one.
Star Wars is not a drama, Jermon.
So is it just going to be majority rules?
I think
I
that's
assume?
probably going to be the best way to handle it.
Okay.
We will see. We will figure that out as we get there.
I'm gonna need everyone's Venmo.
All right, then. With that being said,
What's a Venmo?
instead, it's what people with money use. That's why we don't know what it is.
Fair enough.
Winstead, you're up first, sir. What is the first movie that's being picked in the Draftamania?
I did not want to go first. I wanted everyone else to be like going first and everyone make fun of them. There's so many to choose from. This is insane. I'm not gonna be able to pick for like 45 minutes after this. So okay, this one might be controversial. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Goodfellas.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. Number 5 on my list.
People might say it's a crime, but I say it's a drama, crime drama. One of my favorite movies of all time. One of the best. Going with Goodfellas.
Drama's a drama, man. That's a drama.
That's a
Absolutely.
drama.
Yeah.
According to Carol, we're already off on our Mafia Wank Fest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. You said drama. I'm like, okay, here comes the good stuff.
Here comes good. Now, Joel, what is it about Goodfellas that makes you pick number 1? Why Goodfellas? Is this Scorsese's best?
For me, it's Scorsese's best. If you look up anyone's top 10 list, it's going to be in there somewhere, like of all time. And it's that perfect balance of, mafia movie and a director that knows what he's doing. And it's a blended, almost perfect movie, some would argue. Got to be up there.
I think it's safe to say that it's Scorsese's perfect movie. Like I it's hard to find a flaw with Goodfellas. And the only reason I didn't put it on my list this time is because I drafted it, I think, last time for the film school draft. And I was like, so I was like, I'm not going to even put that one on my list this time. So
you said you're not drafting anything that might make you lose by 1 vote.
there are several Carol approved draft picks that are on my list.
Oh.
There, right on. Carol, what's your thoughts on Goodfellas?
I can honestly say I do think it is Scorsese's best. I prefer Casino just because I feel like Casino is more watchable. I just have a hard time with mafia movies because I feel that all of them kind of glamorize the lifestyle.
That's fair.
That's but they all end up dead. Like a space plan of hope, like at the end, right?
Even
like,
that is kind of like
romanticized.
Look at the cool way he died.
I hope
She felt funny.
I hope someone shoots me in the back of the head the way they did Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. I want my last words to be "oh fuck" before I'm shot in the back of the head.
It's a sin, Ma.
All right then. We're gonna keep moving. It's Pete time. So let's go to the
Pete Bot 3000.
Pete Bot 3000. Pete Bot 3000. And Pete starts off number 1 with The Godfather.
Oh,
I knew it.
Of course.
That was the other one I was trying to pick between.
Pete.
The Godfather. And let me Pete for his first 10. He gave me 10 picks and then like another 15, 20 alternates at the end, but his first 10, he does come with a narrative. He says the granddaddy of all mob movies, setting the tone for all wise guys to come, Francis Ford Coppola properly adapts Mario Puzo's novel of the Corleone organized crime family for the big screen. This 1972 movie made household names out of Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Bob Duvall, and Diane Keaton, and told an unabashedly brutal story of greed, betrayal, violence, and ultimately the importance of family loyalty. This movie should be on everyone's list. Brian, I'm no longer
Unfortunately, it can't be because
No.
Pete drafted it.
I'm about to see Pete wants to hop on Poprika, start writing reviews.
Bob Duvall, huh? Bob?
Oh no, I did that. He put Robert.
Oh,
Duvall.
okay. I was going to say,
Yeah.
made him a household name.
I've always called him Bob
Pete
Duvall.
Lentz.
Yeah, it's The Godfather. We all know why it's on this list. Leslie, what were your thoughts? Because you watching it with me was not your first time watching it, right?
That is an untrue statement. Watching it with you was my first time watching The Godfather.
All right.
So that was, for any of you who don't know, because you're not us, was like 2-3 years ago, maybe. And
Yes.
yeah, my thoughts are that it lives up to the hype. It is an amazing film. I did not think I would like it. And initially I was like, well, this is a little bit slow, but it really just pulls you in. Just, yeah, love it.
Right
It
on.
pulls you in with a party. Everybody loves a party, right? So it's like the first 20 minutes of that movie, it's a big, flashy party. And you're like, yeah, kind of liked it. Oh shit, a horse head.
Right?
Zerman, what's your thoughts on The Godfather there?
I enjoyed it. I too first saw it during the pandemic. So
Hey, you know what? Hey, what worse time?
yes. But
All right.
it was everything people said it was though.
Yeah, I think it's one of a few handful of movies that it's hard to overhype The Godfather. It lives up to most expectations. Brian, your first selection, sir.
Well, would have been Godfather, but instead it will be The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh boy, my list is getting
Of course.
chewed up.
Of course.
Don't like this.
I gotta tell you, like I love this movie, and like I frequently cite it within my like top 10 movies of all time. But this is the second consecutive draft that I almost completely forgot about it. I did completely forget about it on the film school draft, and then until like probably an hour ago, I was like, "Fuck shit! Why did I almost do that again?" So yeah, I'm gonna get out there early and take that one off the board. Again, we were talking about movies that live up to the hype. I didn't see Shawshank Redemption until probably 2002, 2003. And so that's, I had been hearing about it for years. And when I finally sat down to watch it, I was just like a blubbering lunatic. And I was like, I should not have brought this into the office to watch it at work. But and then every single time I watch it, and it hits me the same way at the end. It's just the triumph of the human spirit, man. And I remember the first time I showed it to Jacqueline, and she was my wife, and we got to the end of it, and I'm sitting there misting up, and she's like, I thought you said this movie was sad at the end. And I was like, Data. I cry because it's happy, Data. Human emotions. Yeah.
Winstead, what do you have on The Shawshank, man?
Shawshank is a fantastic film. It's very good. It's overrated.
Oh my
Wow.
god! Oh my god!
No, I
The stink
understand.
eye is for
I
you,
understand
sir.
all the love. It is deserving of all the love. I just don't know how much I want to slobber on its knob like everyone else does.
Oh
It's
man,
just-
no, I'll slobber on that knob to my lips check, baby.
No, thank you. All right, then, Jermon Jackson, sir, what is your first pick? And should I just write down Pulp Fiction now?
Absolutely. You know damn well I'm gonna pick that first. Come on, man.
I can set my watching warrant by it.
Since we're in that 1994 vibe, it's like
All right. I feel like
we're.
you and Brian.
Let me let you guys talk about it.
Let's
I've talked about this shit to death.
We've only drafted in every draft so far. Carol, Pulp Fiction. Are you a Tarantino person, Carol?
Yeah, that was my choice for best drama in the film school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Very nice. Then.
It's probably I still think it's his best film.
Okay. Leslie, what's your
It's his
thoughts
most
on?
consistently best film.
All right, that's fair. Leslie, what do you have on Pulp Fiction?
I enjoy it more every time I watch it. I first watched it in high school when I was young and innocent and knew nothing about film or life in general. So, it didn't, like, I thought it was interesting, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And so it wasn't until later that it really grew on me.
Right on. Winstead, as far as the ranking of Tarantino movies, where is Pulp Fiction for you, sir?
Number 2, right behind Inglourious Bastards.
My man. What of all the different stories, the segments that are told throughout, which is the one that you vibe with the most?
Travolta's because of the dancing scene.
Okay.
Can't get enough of it.
Not the.
I don't know. I got enough of it at the Oscars this year.
Right on. So you were just happy for the Saturday Night Fever callbacks with Travolta dancing there?
So great. And then Buscemi as Buddy Holly. It's great.
All right then. Right on. It is over to me to go ahead and take off my first pick. Seven Samurai. Listen, it's not even like the highest up on my list. I just wanted to steal it because I could steal it.
Wow.
It is, man.
Leave meeting.
And suddenly there was no more refried scenes after that. I don't know what happened. I just stopped getting the files. Yeah, listen. It is.
Pendergrass.
If I remember correctly, man, Criterion, like the company that everybody like platforms is like the arbiter of fine films. This is like number 2 or 3 on the Criterion spine.
I think it's 7. Oh no, you're right. It's 2.
It's 2. Yeah. So I thought,
Fine
yeah.
too, yeah.
So that lets you know, like, when they're like, we want to be the purveyor of the finest movies across the world. One of our first ones is going to be Seven Samurai, a 3-hour long character piece that also just happens to have really dope third act action all throughout it as well. It's one of the best ensemble movies ever made from one of the best directors that have ever existed and one of the best, most dreamiest leading men to ever have existed at the same time in Toshiro Mifune. Yeah. Everything about Seven Samurai is dope. If you're one of those people who do not fuck with black and white movies because they're in black and white, you are missing out on a world of great shit out there. Just outside of Seven Samurai as well. There's good stuff. Don't let the black and the white turn you off. There's plenty of good stuff out there. Seven Samurai, worth every minute of its seemingly 45-hour runtime. Winstead, sir, have you seen Seven Samurai?
Why keep going to me, man? I haven't seen this movie, and I don't want to be made fun of. I have not seen a single Akira Kurosawa film.
Playing the role of Jermon Jackson in tonight's draft, we've got
somebody else is getting it besides me.
Let me remind everyone, I am a film critic.
Yeah.
Oh, and newsflash, I haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption. Boom.
Wrong. Just wrong. You're hurting me. Now, granted, I also have not seen Seven Samurai, but
I fully plan on watching all the Kurosawa films this year. It's April, so we're pushing if I can get through all of them. If I just start now,
yeah, there you go.
There might not be enough hours left.
I know, it's exactly right.
Leslie, when there's a rainy Saturday afternoon, we will get our Seven Samurai on.
Sounds good.
If I'd have known, Winstead, when you asked me for 5 films that you need to watch at the beginning of the year, I would have thrown that on the list, man. But yeah, sorry to you, Miss Coles, but I just had to steal that because it's 7 fucking samurai. And hopefully they think you're me now. All right, moving on. Leslie, it is on you, ma'am.
Um, I'm gonna come at this from a different angle and start out with Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Ooh.
It is just beautiful in every sense of the word.
Mhm.
So good.
That was a blind buy for me, Criterion. I just heard a bunch of shit about it, and I was like, man, guess I'll buy this shit, because it came out right as the Criterion sale dropped. And I was like, well, I guess I got to get this. Brian or Winstead, have either one of you checked out Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
Nope.
I own it on
Very good
Criterion.
film.
Would you say, Carol?
It's a very, very good film.
It's a very, very good film. Yeah.
Cole says he owns it, but that's no guarantee that he's seen it.
The curse of the Criterion collector. A lot of owning but never watching.
It's still in the plastic.
Terrible. You need to watch this film.
Watch that before you watch the Kurosawas. So Carol, you did get around to watching it after you held it hostage for me for 2 years.
That was Mia holding it hostage. I just returned it to you. I paid the ransom.
I like to just set you up to throw me under the
I
bus.
actually, I was surprised at how much I loved it. I haven't seen her second film. I do want to watch that. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called either, but off the strength of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I also want to. Like, as far as like movies about a couple, there is a movie that someone might draft later on down the road. It won't be me, that I think is not toppable. But Portrait of a Lady on Fire was just a hair's breadth below that. All right, Carol.
Well, I'm about to draft it. My first choice is In the Mood for Love.
There it is.
That was my second after Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Like I was debating.
This is just a gorgeous film. Just gorgeous film about unrequited love.
Yes, this is
visually gorgeous as well. It's just storytelling gorgeous.
Everything about this movie is absolutely beautiful in every sense of the word. As far as Toshiro Mifune or Tony Leung, which one are you going with?
Mifune.
Oh, okay. Not a hesitation.
Tony Leung is close, but no, Mifune.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. When was the last time you watched this movie, Carol?
Oh gosh, it was probably about 6 or 7 months ago.
Oh, okay. So fairly recent.
Yeah. It's fairly recent. I have it around here somewhere. I'm still trying to organize my DVDs, so from the move.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, it's around here somewhere. But yeah, I watched it about 6 or 7 months ago. It's one of those ones I pick up at least once a year, just because visually it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it came in the Wong Kar-wai box set, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna throw down a shit ton of money on the Wong Kar-wai box set so I can have In the Mood for Love, and I just get like 5 extra movies for free. I love it. Winstead, have you seen this joint? Is this another wrap but not seen Criterion?
Listen.
All right, Dramon, moving on. Is this on a to watch list for you, Winstead?
Oh, 100%. All of Wong Kar-wai's films are. Just haven't had an opportunity to get to them.
You know what, man? One thing that Douglas always says at award season is you don't have time to watch everything, and you can't watch. If I die with like under 100 movies in my to watch list, I'll consider it a job well done on my part. Leslie, you want to throw down anything for In the Mood for Love before we move on?
Oh, just everything about it is gorgeous. The whole feel of it, the costuming, the lighting, everything. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Brian?
I'm still hung up on the Leung Mifune debate. Like, now I'm thinking about it. That's all I'm thinking about. And, I don't know. I might go Leung.
I might, especially Leung in The Mood for Love, man. That slick back hair, my man, is
absolutely
good.
Like, if not for that, then it would be no contest. But yeah,
gotta watch Mifune in High and Low. He's got that slick back hair.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. All right, kick off round 2. Carol, it is back on you. What's your second choice?
My second choice is LA Confidential.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's number 31 on my list.
That was in my 5. Nice job.
It was in your top 5?
Yeah. That was a snipe for me.
I was debating on which noir film I was going to throw in there. I threw a couple in there anyway.
Are you a fan of the noir films?
This one, it stars Kevin Spacey, but he dies halfway through. So
you feel good about putting it on the list.
Satisfying in that respect.
That's why I love
next
Baby
pick
Driver.
is Baby Driver.
Baby Driver's downright cathartic about it. You know, it's like, doesn't that feel good, folks?
Kill him again. LA Confidential kind of introduced us to Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce.
In a big way. I think he was in, he was in that movie with Denzel Washington.
Oh, Virtuosity.
Virtuosity.
Yeah.
Did 6.7.
Not a bad film, actually. It's really not a bad film. But that was LA Confidential was kind of his big role. And I still think that he won the Oscar for Gladiator because they didn't give it to him for LA Confidential or A Beautiful Mind.
You might be 100% correct. Jamon, have you seen LA Confidential?
I've seen the tail end of it.
You just saw it on TNT one day.
So you know what happens.
Well, they do know drama.
Well done. LA Confidential, man, it's one of the good modern noir type joints. We don't get a whole lot of good modern noirs, but that held the 90s down pretty damn good. Well done.
And the director would later go on to direct 8 Mile. So
listen, you went from great noir to mom spaghetti. Right on.
Mom spaghetti.
But there's nothing wrong with mom spaghetti. Nothing. All we know is Clarence's parents have a real nice marriage. Really, that's all you need to take out of 8 Mile.
And fuck Cranbrook.
Leslie, it is over to you for your second pick, ma'am.
I decided I'm gonna go classic with this one.
Listen, I got my next joint in mind, so as long as you don't take that, you're good.
Go with the 1957 12 Angry Men.
Ooh.
That was on my list.
I was on the list.
On there.
It's
On mine.
that was another one that I feel like it's another classic that I didn't see until fairly recently, and just so good. Everything about it was so good.
Yeah, it's like one of the best one room performances there is.
Yeah.
There's like this and a movie I might draft later on. Yeah, it's
I was gonna say yes. What is it?
So many great performances. Who's who of acting of people you would later go on to see in a whole bunch of other places. Winstead, you get down on the 12 Angries.
Oh yeah, it was on my list. Definitely a snipe. It's one of those movies that I put off for a long time, thinking it was like homework, and then watched it and just could not stop watching it. It's engrossing. You cannot. It's very good.
Yeah. Who is that? A Fonda that's leading that movie?
Henry Fonda led. Yeah, Sidney Lumet, one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, that been pretty much plain and simple.
Brian,
Is that the one with,
more, you know.
is that the one with Jack Klugman?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Jack Klugman is in that movie.
Yeah, Juror number 5.
Yeah.
If it were made today, there would be a car chase in the middle of it.
Them on the way to like break for lunch, and all of a sudden it turns into a car chase.
It'd be like that movie.
Got my egg sandwich.
What was it? Was it 8 blocks, 12 blocks? How many blocks was it? 16
16
blocks.
blocks.
16 blocks.
Listen,
I knew it was a multiple of 4.
I'm sure Yahya Abdul-Mateen would be in it too.
No, you're thinking of Ambulance.
He's in every third movie nowadays.
Due out this week. All right, 12. Good call. 12 Angry Men. Back over to me. I'm going to take it while it is still out there. Thank the man Jesus. The Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
I was torn.
The Carol Cole's proclaimed Mafia Wankfest continues. Here with The Godfather Part 2.
I don't mind The Godfather's being on here.
Okay.
And I think The Godfather Part 2 is the better film.
I think I'm in the minority of thinking that Part 1 is the better movie. Why do you think 2 is better than 1, Carol?
I like the origin story of
Oviedo.
I like Robert De Niro in this film, so yeah. I like the back and forth between the times.
How can you say to somebody, like, think of what you're hiring somebody to play young Vito Corleone, and it's like, yeah, you got to follow Brando. You know what I mean?
I don't think De Niro batted an eye. I think De Niro's like,
showed up, man.
Yeah, he shows up hardcore. Winston, what you got on Godfather 2?
I love Godfather 2. I'm also with you. I prefer watching The Godfather just because Brando is just magnetic. Like, you cannot look away. They just choose every millisecond he's on screen. Godfather
every
2
millisecond and every orange.
orange whilst petting a cat. Yeah, I mean, Godfather 2 is fantastic. There's not, I have nothing bad to say about it. It's just The Godfather just slightly edges it out, but still, I mean, they're both 5-star movies. What are you gonna do?
Right on. German, are you you've seen 1 and 2, correct?
I've seen 1.
Okay, all right, then moving on.
Moving on.
Leslie, you've seen 1 and 2, correct? You own them. You get around to that, sir. Leslie, what do you think about 1 and 2?
So, when I think about them both now, I think that I like the first one more. But I recently came across a Facebook memory of having watched the second one because we went and saw that at the theater a year or 2 ago.
Adam events.
No, it had to have been more than that. Yeah.
That was about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. And at the time, I thought I liked the second one more. So I think I need to rewatch them in sometime in a close time frame because it's been months in between.
You need a spare 7 hours.
I think that's what I do. Like, I think my favorite's always whichever one I watch last.
Yeah. Or if you can find that HBO cut where they splice it all together in chronological order, that is also an interesting way to watch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it took me forever to find the bootleg, but I finally did, and man, it makes for a great Sunday of slow working. All right,
Topher Grace just took all the movies and crammed them all together.
What movies did he recut?
The episode, the prequels.
The prequels? Yeah, that's right. German, it is back over to you, sir. What are you going with?
Me. I'm going to actually choose one of the 2 movies that I watched this weekend. One of the more recent movies, Moonlight.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
I watched that last night. So fucking good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was 26 on my list.
Everybody in there was swinging for the fences. Like, God, that was just.
Naomi Harris is doing her thing.
Yes. Goodness gracious.
Give me more crackhead Naomi Harris, please.
Like, I didn't even recognize her initially. I was like, who is that Kimberly Lee? Who is that? And then I realized, it's Moneypenny. Oh,
that's Times got hard when MI6 shut down.
But yeah, the performances of all 3 actors that played Chiron were just excellent. And it probably had one of the most satisfying moments that I've seen in movie history, possibly.
The dude getting a blowjob on the beach?
Not that one.
Oh,
that's satisfying.
So good.
So good. It was so satisfying.
That lighting.
No, him finally getting his revenge on that bully. Towards it, when he just literally just walks in there, and then just almost not a single line of dialogue in that whole scene. He just you see his whole progression going back into that school with a purpose, literally just walking in the classroom and smashing a chair over that dude's head.
Yeah. Mahershala Ali got his Viola Davis Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Pops up for 15 minutes.
I was like, hold on, wait a minute, where is he? He just disappeared after the first act. I was like, wait,
what? Carol, you've seen Moonlight, correct?
Oh yeah. That was on my list. That was I think number 8.
What? Let's go back to the debacle that happened at the Oscars. Were you Moonlight or were you La La Land?
Oh, I was Moonlight. I liked La La Land, but I thought Moonlight would age far more gracefully than La La Land, because La La Land is one of those movies you enjoy in the moment, and then you think back on it 2 weeks later and you're like, that was really corny. And why is the white guy the jazz singer? But Moonlight was that's going to stick with you. So yeah, I was Moonlight all the way. When they said La La Land, I was like, what the hell? This is a crash situation, isn't it? And then they corrected themselves. I'm like, well, thank God.
Yeah. Not thank God for me, because that switch from Moonlight back, or from La La Land to Moonlight, is how I lost my Oscars bet that year. We were all tied up, and he had Moonlight and I had La La Land, because I had no faith in the Academy whatsoever, and they proved me wrong in the best possible way. Winstead, you checked this bad boy out?
Oh yeah, I love Moonlight. I was both that year. La La Land one, I was like, okay, good, and then Moonlight one, I was like, okay, cool. Like it was fine. But yeah, Moonlight blew me away. It was a movie again that I thought that it was gonna be like a homework thing. It was like a like an artistic thing, and I watched it.
A24, right?
Like, it's so good. Yeah. Yep.
A24 is never homework, my friend.
Yeah.
Never homework. No.
Another thing, some of the cinematography is just beautiful.
Beautiful.
That
I just
movie
talked about
is-
the blowjob on the beach. It's so good.
Yes, that cinematography is. There's one shot in particular that my last season of Poprika, I did some of the best looking movies of all time, and Moonlight was mentioned on that
When
list.
Mahershala is holding him in the water, I started crying. I don't even know why. It was just such a beautiful moment.
It's tender, man.
Yeah.
He's holding him tenderly, gingerly. Talking about how skin looks blue coming off the moonlight. It's so good, so good.
So good.
Brian, sir, your second pick.
I am going to, for my second pick, choose Saving Private Ryan.
God,
Oh, no!
damn it!
Sniper.
That was my next pick.
And I was sitting here thinking about it, and I was like, there's another movie that I want to pick second, but if I'm going to pick Saving Private Ryan, it's got to be now. And it's one of two Spielberg movies that are on my list here to select from.
What
The other
so
one,
me and-
obviously,
Me and
Amistad.
Winstead
And,
me and Winston and Jermon, before this all started, we all said we had two Spielberg movies on our list. And I'm assuming that Saving Private Ryan was all one of our movies.
That is correct.
Actually, I had
Probably.
3 on here, so yeah, that's
Oh, okay. All right. Now it remains to be seen what
but
the
yeah,
other ones
Saving Private
are.
Ryan was one of them.
Huge
Third
fans of Always. I mean, Always is all right.
1941 just barely made my list. No, always. It's not on anybody's list. I can guarantee you that. Why Saving Private Ryan, Brian?
why not? I mean,
All right, good. Jermon.
Yeah, I haven't seen past that first scene.
Yeah. No,
That first
Brian,
scene is
for real.
intense.
What is your favorite scene, Brian, out of that movie?
The blowjob on the beach.
Wait, are you sure you saw Saving Private Ryan?
Look, there's only way
Or
I'm
did
making
you
it
see
past.
Saving Ryan's Privates?
Are we doing a blowjob on the beach draft here?
There's probably one in the Suicide Squad somewhere we didn't know about.
See what happens when Pete's not here.
What is your favorite scene, Brian?
Well, it's got to be the first scene of the movie. I mean, I think of like the first scene of Saving Private Ryan, like the opening track on a debut album. It's like, I got to bring every ounce of heat I can to this, and then I'm going to have them for as long as I want them. And like, I can't think of an opening scene in a Spielberg movie that does what that opening scene does. Like, I don't even think Jurassic Park's opening scene does the trick. Jaws comes close, I think. Raiders also. But Saving Private Ryan comes at you. There were people coming out of that theater and just vomiting in the hallway.
Yeah.
Always a mark of a good film.
I had people come out of that theater and they couldn't even stomach it. Like, they literally had to just, whether they vomited or they just came out and they're like, I can't watch this. I'm like, this is real shit. That guy walking around on the beach looking for his arm, like,
So visceral.
Yeah.
we've all been that guy at some point.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
That was me this past Friday night, let me tell you.
I watched Saving Private Ryan first when I was, a teenager, and I liked it because of the action and the, that aspect of it. And then I watched it again as an adult, a married man with a kid, and I just wept the whole time.
Mhm.
Like, it's one of his best.
It's one of the more underappreciated John Williams scores as well. Like everyone goes like Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Jaws, some of that. Saving Private Ryan is delightfully good. Excellent good. All right. It's time to go over to the Peatbot 3000.
And Peatbot snipes me, I'm gonna kill that robot.
Peatbot 3000 says Schindler's List.
Hey,
my other Spielberg movie.
That's your other
two.
Spielberg.
Yep.
And that was two for you. Oh,
Yeah.
So maybe we don't have the same on our.
You might not have the same third.
All right. Interesting. As far as Schindler's List, Pete says Spielberg hits another feel-good home run.
Oh my god.
He said, just kidding. This movie is sad as shit, brutally honest in his portrayal of the Holocaust. Spielberg wants you to know from the jump, this movie will not be another E.T. Shot in black and white with flecks of color spaced throughout to draw attention to key moments and characters with absolutely astounding performances by both Liam Neeson and Ralph Fiennes and a sympathetic turn by Ben Kingsley. This movie is a must watch at least once. And yeah, he's not wrong. His next movie on this list is going to get no votes, but we'll get to there when we get to it.
Hey, he's 2 for 2 for titties too, right?
We're titties are well in hand for Pete. Yeah. Schindler's List. This movie's a rough watch, man.
Yeah,
it's
very rough.
Yeah.
Like Pete said, this is kind of a one and done. Like they're like Schindler's List in 4K, and I'm not rushing to the stores to pick it up. I don't think.
Yeah.
Leslie, when was the last time you watched this bad boy? Have you only seen it the once?
Yes. That was when I was in middle school, actually.
Wow. Okay.
My best friend and I picked it up and watched it together, and I don't remember why, honestly.
Hey, you want to get depressed?
But yeah, that was a lot.
Carol, is
It's
this
like
a
that,
repeat watch for you?
No, I've seen it once, and that was when it was in the theater.
Yep.
And that was it. That was like, okay, thank you for destroying my weekend, Mr. Spielberg. I completely understand why it would be chosen. I completely understand the awards it won. It's one of those things where it's like, I can't revisit it.
It's like Requiem for a Dream. We've all seen it once. We don't need to see it again, unless you want to see some ass to ass from Jennifer.
I'm just gonna say ass to ass.
You can just get a clip of that.
But yeah, outside of that, Brian, Schindler's List.
I first saw it in what year did it come out? 92, right?
Yeah, I feel like
That's when I saw it, and I was in middle school, just like Leslie. But I went to the theater to watch it. It's like like that Simpsons episode where all the kids play hooky and they go to the movie theater to sneak into an R-rated movie, and it's Martin Fink.
Yep. If I remember correctly, this is the movie that he's shooting while he's also editing Jurassic Park at the same time.
And it came out in 93.
93,
Yeah, year,
Christmas after Jurassic Park. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's when I saw it, and man, I told my mother, I was like, could me and Jeremy want to go see this movie? And she's like, are you sure? It's black and white and depressing.
And she's not wrong on any one of those fronts.
Nope.
At all. A star-making turn for Liam Neeson, maybe? He done what, Darkman before this?
Oh, he did do Darkman. That was not a star-making turn, though.
I think it was more a star-making turn for Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah. Without Schindler's List, you don't get In Bruges. All right. Winstead, finally, 45 minutes later.
Without this movie, you don't get
45 minutes later.
Yeah, you wouldn't get Voldemort. Winstead, what you got for us for your second and the beginning of round 3?
Well, I was sniped about 457 times. So now I'm on my third beer, and we're just gonna go for it. I'm not gonna go by my list anymore because it's insane. So I'm gonna go with a movie that I love. That I'm going with Parasite.
God damn it!
Ooh.
The best Hitchcock movie in years.
I really thought I was going to be able to like sneak down into some noses. Well played, sir. What's the best scene in Parasite?
Oh, when the family comes back to the house and the other family's in the house still, and they all hide under the couch.
Yeah.
And the husband and wife are getting frisky, and they're just like sitting there, like,
and they're underneath the couch or whatever. Yeah.
And they're trying to escape, like on their stomach, and then the light goes off in the backyard. I mean, it's one of the best scenes ever. It's so good. It hits every single. It's like Bong Joon-ho at the like peak of his directing capabilities. Fantastic movie.
The great part about that scene is that they're also talking about them while they're in the room listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
I remember watching Parasite, going in completely blind, not knowing anything about it. Had no idea. It kind of seemed like a horror movie, maybe. And then there was that time with they go into the basement, and that lady's like trying to push the bookcase off the wall, but she's like on the wall, and she's like looking. It was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a lot of tones. It's so good.
So good. Yeah. Also went into that movie blind. Good old Douglas Davis invited me over to watch it. We sat down and checked it out, and neither one of us were prepared for what we saw in that movie. And good Lord, this is so good. And the fact that Criterion quickly spit that out was one of their movies. Kind of lets you know what you're in for. Carol, what's your thoughts on Parasite, real quick?
Oh my God. I also went into it blind. I had no idea what it was about. But in the scene where they find the secret room, I was like, oh, nothing good is down there. Please, guys, don't go down there. Nothing good is down there. And it's just snowballed from there. The whole movie was just like, oh my God.
Only two things you'll ever find in a secret room like that are a human or Nazi paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Okay, pupil. Right. All right. Starting round 3. Winstead is back on you again, sir.
All right. I'm going to go with the movie. Oh, man. Do I do this? Do I care? I'm going to go with, there's a lot more on this that I love more, but I'm going with Titanic.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Titanic. I remember watching Titanic when I was a kid-ish. This passes Pete's
yes,
titty
it
rule.
does. It does.
It passes the Pete test.
I remember being bored out of my mind. It was so long, and like the crash doesn't even happen until the very end of the movie. And then it's one of those movies again where I watched it as an adult, and I'm just like, this is a pretty great movie.
Yeah, it's like we all know what's going to happen by the end, but you got to give us a reason to care, and that's where you craft the story at is making me care for these, or at least some of these people. And no one cares about Billy Zane, but making me care for some of these people.
Shooting guns while the ship's sinking. Dude, this ship is sinking. What are you doing?
The ship's like he's still trying to shoot at Leonardo DiCaprio running around. It makes no sense whatsoever. Jermaine, when was the last time you watched Titanic?
I haven't finished it. I think I saw up to the.
Still watching it.
It's still on.
So I remember going to the theater to go see that when it came out, and it was sold out everywhere. So we ended up having to go see Alien Resurrection.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think I watched through it. I watched up to the point where Leo and Kate Winslet banged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Steamy Model T Ford scene.
Yeah.
Your mom watches them both back to back and has some weird ass dream where the boat sinks and then there's aliens swimming in the
water. Leslie, did you see Titanic when it was fresh in theaters or fresh?
Yes, yeah. I was either. When did it come out?
97.
97. Yes. I was a 15-year-old girl.
Oh boy, you definitely
multiple times in the theater.
Yeah,
I had a friend who saw it more than I did. she saw it first and warned us all. She's like, "Bring tissues," hiding in her hoodie. Right. Yeah, no, I loved it. I'd liked Leonardo DiCaprio before then, and I thought Kate Winslet was just everything at the time. She's amazing.
And
She still is.
She
Love
still
it.
is, man. Mary of Easttown is that
Agreed.
business.
Agreed.
All right, we're back over to Peapod 3000.
In the year 3000.
Computing.
And according to Peapod 3000, his third pick is Scarface.
Scarface.
A plate of Coke.
Scarface.
Wait, that's a platter. That's a Thanksgiving platter.
A mountain of cocaine is what Pete did before making this list. Often imitated, never duplicated, Scarface is the quintessential cult classic gangster movie. Al Pacino shines as Tony Montana, the penniless Cuban immigrant who becomes the most notorious drug kingpin in America. He constantly radiates menace throughout the film, especially in its cocaine-fueled conclusion. Say hello to my little friend has become a part of everyone's vernacular, whether they've seen the movie or not. That's how impactful this movie is. We also get Mary Elizabeth Mastriantino as Gina, Tony's sister, whom he overprotects to a menacing degree, and Michelle Pfeiffer, who eventually becomes Tony's wife. Robert Loggia and F. Murray Abraham also make appearances. And the team up of director Brian De Palma and writer Ollie Stone is stuff of Hollywood legend. Scarface is a beautiful, unapologetic, violent, and manic descent into depravity. And I am here for it. You know, reading that, man, Pete is not wrong.
No, not at all.
Account. The ultimate tale of greed, possibly, or at least one of the ultimate tales of greed. And you want to talk about the glamorizing of the gangster type movies. I think Scarface is one of those ones like, nah, this shit is dirty. It's ugly.
It's really weird watching that, rooting, like being that Tony Montana is the protagonist, like you're rooting for him, but he is just a piece of shit.
A piece of shit.
I'm rooting for the tiger. I'm rooting for the tiger that's on his estate. That's the only character I'm rooting for.
Shout out to the white tiger in that movie, man.
I was gonna say I was considering that. I didn't even put that on my list just due to like it's gotten to the point where Scarface is almost parody now. Like,
yeah, that's kind of why I kept it off too. Like as fucking raw as that movie is it is oft parodied and oft mocked, and I think it's due for reappraisal. Like the scene where they go to make the coke transaction with the Colombians, man, and they're already pulling out chainsaws and dismembering people.
Cockroaches. Yeah.
And like Tony's using the shower curtain as a blocker for the blood splattering out. I'm like, oh my God, what am I
It's like a
watching?
schlocky B like horror movie.
It is.
But it's, oh man, it's good though. It's good. It's not on my list, but it's good.
Yeah.
after seeing that movie in everybody's house on MTV Cribs,
Everyone's got the Scarface poster up somewhere.
Yes.
Much like you in several of these movies, Jermon, I think a lot of those people on MTV Cribs never finished watching the movie.
I actually did finish the
Most have never started.
First two acts. I think that this movie does need a reappraisal because I think most of the people who are who make fun of it or use it in memes or stuff, they only know a couple moments from the movie and they've never actually watched the entire thing. And that's why I think in the heads of most of us, we're like, oh yeah, Scarface, that's kind of ridiculous, right? But it's like you gloss over the fact that there is so much movie there that's just not getting appraised in the moment by the culture.
Nearly 3 hours long. That is a film.
Scarface is the business. Also, it's interesting that you have this horrible dude who has brought down by his ethical code and standards. It's where the phrase "no women, no kids" comes from, and that's what gets him killed in the very end. Carol, I know you love this movie. What do you?
Yeah, just adored it. We did this for refried scenes, and I think we both chose the original.
Yeah, I chose that 1939 version or whatever it was.
The Billy Muni one from 1930 something.
Yeah.
I think it's just too much. It's just too much. By the end of it, I was just like, oh, please just stop the movie.
Fair enough. And Leslie, you have not seen Scarface, have you?
I have not.
We're gonna push you to the limit at some point soon. We're gonna get you on
Oh,
this.
good.
Good luck, Leslie. Good luck.
It's one of my favorite montages in movies. I'll say that much.
There's a hilarious featurette on the DVD or whatever where they're talking about, I guess, when ABC aired Scarface on network TV, and they were talking about like all the edits and stuff they had to do. It's ridiculous.
That movie's 45 minutes with all those, all those edits. I dare say, Jamon, without Scarface, we don't get only Built for Cuban Links.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The whole rap genre was basically based on that.
Yeah.
There's a bonus feature on the Scarface DVD about that too.
Is there really?
Yeah, there is. And a lot of the rappers are like, man, I modeled my whole life after him. He came from nothing and he became everything. And then we're always like, but yeah, the third act though, right?
People don't get past the montage.
Yeah, but did you see his bathtub?
I always wanted that bathtub. All right, Brian, it is on you, sir, for your third pick.
I feel like at this point I can start actually picking things that I was like, oh yeah, I want to pick this, because I think it's solid. I think there's just so much at play here that some of these other movies are probably safe-ish, and even if they're not, I have backups for them. But one thing I don't have a backup for really is Before Sunrise.
Oh,
that's my number 3 pick.
Okay,
you could have chosen any of those films, man. They're all
you really could have. I'm gonna go with the first one though. I think it's probably one of the most romantic movies ever made. Just two people falling for each other slowly over the course of a night before parting ways, maybe forever. And it's just it's exhausting because it is so dialogue heavy. Like for however long that movie is, like an hour and 45 minutes or something, the screenplay must have been 300 pages long. Like it's just a mile a minute. But it is wholly engrossing, and just isn't another movie like it, and that's one of my criteria for like really deeming a movie a classic. And like Moonlight, I feel that way about, is like it's something I've never seen before. Like I watch Moonlight and I'm like, I have not seen this story before. Before Sunrise, same sort of deal. It's like I have never seen something like this before, and it just pops, man.
Shout out to Julie Delpy. My favorite Julie Delpy performance is in this movie. I've had it in my cart for every Criterion sale, but be it Criterion or the Barnes & Noble, and I just cannot pull the trigger on that trilogy for one of these days. Winston, have you seen this joint?
Nope, moving on.
Carol, what's your thoughts on the Before trilogy?
Yeah, I think I actually love the entire trilogy. It's rare because I'm not a huge fan of Ethan Hawke. But here he works. It just works. It's one of those rare roles where they cast it so perfectly. And I can't believe they got both of them for all 3 films. I think
he, like Richard Linklater and Ethan Hawke really work well together.
Yeah.
And because when he's just cast as like a normal dude, he really, really brings it. Because I feel the same way about Boyhood. Like his performance in Boyhood is also really, really great. But Before Sunrise is to me like Linklater's masterpiece, and certainly Ethan Hawke's masterpiece.
I don't know. I think Predestination is still
Moon Knight's too. We haven't gotten that far into Moon Knight yet. We don't know that.
I've gotten that far, and I can tell you it's not his masterpiece. I am watching the Before trilogy in real time with the amount of years that are spaced out in between each, and this is the year I get to see the second movie. And I'm looking forward to it. Roll your eyes all you want, Leslie Ellsworth.
That's taken into a step.
They've rolled.
Hey, I want to experience it as the people experienced it.
So you're going to do that with Boyhood? You're just going to watch a certain section and then wait a year?
12 years.
15 years later, you finish the film?
Yep.
It's like the reverse of the way Germans watch Titanic.
And speaking of which, German, it is on you for your third pick, sir.
My third pick. Okay, I'm gonna pick a movie here that 30 plus years later is unfortunately still relevant. Do the Right Thing.
Damn it!
Yes!
Oh man.
You knew it was coming. Spike Lee's best movie, bar none.
What? You don't like Old Boy?
God, I actually saw that. That was God, no.
German has left the meeting.
I'll watch Girl 6 again before I watch that again.
What is it about Do the Right Thing, you bastard?
It would just tell such a great story about, just something that is still going on to this day with, dealing with race relations. And I mean, it kind of tells that story, but not really, I wouldn't say necessarily vilifying any one particular group or person in there. Like, you actually do get to see some level of everyone's perspective in there. And and the performances in there were just top notch. Like, Danny Aiello, he was putting in that work. John Turturro, Esposito just disappeared into that role.
Oh, bugging out. I hate him in this movie so much.
Oh, my man Bill Nunn is Radio Raheem.
Raheem, man. Rest in peace.
He was like Nunn. The heart. I feel like he was the heart of that movie.
Yeah. It's 24 hours on a Brooklyn block. And Ossie Davis and
Ruby D
and Ruby D, man, have their whole interplay.
Sam Jackson is kind of, I guess he was kind of like the narrator /voice of reason there.
Yeah, your DJ all throughout. I still think, hands down, Do the Right Thing is Spike Lee's best movie of all time.
Oh, easily.
And it sucks to tell somebody, hey, your best movie was 30 years ago, but deal with this.
Sad thing is, I watched, I think it was a few years ago when Black Klansman was out, and I watched a video on YouTube. It was like a little press conference with Spike Lee, and they were asking about all the stuff going on with police brutality and what have you. And I'm thinking, this is recent, for Black Klansman, it's like, no, this was for Do the Right Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, sadly, it's like, geez.
Yeah, that just got that on Criterion for Christmas. This is a Christmas gift.
Ooh, nice.
Winstead, you've seen Do the Right Thing, man. What's your thoughts on that? All right, so Carol. Winstead, you are a film critic, right, sir? I just want to double check that.
I am. I love Spike Lee, and I've seen pretty much every other movie. For whatever reason, this is just a blind spot.
You go watch Miracle Santa Ana again.
I know.
Winstead's going in reverse order on this one. We all have our quirks, right? He's going in reverse order through Lee's filmography.
Shout out to Inside Man. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that one almost made the list.
I thought about it. All right. It's over to me now. Man, that hurt.
Got him.
That hurt. I'm going to take a movie that I think I can hold off on that one. Since we can't, no. Yeah, I'm going to take a movie, man. It really put on the map one of the best working directors there is right now. He made one of the most beautiful movies, and then he went on to make another one of the most beautiful movies, and then he went on to make Dune. I'm taking Sicario on the list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can consider
one
that
can actually be put on.
What'd you say, Carol?
With the one movie that can actually be put on the list.
Yeah,
from his filmography.
Well, no, I guess Prisoners, but man, that's just fucking depraving. Yeah, Sicario, a masterclass in tension.
Oh God, yeah.
I think it's to date maybe the best Emily Blunt I've ever seen. Daniel Kaluuya is there for a cup of coffee, in and out.
Yep.
Brolin is appropriately nasty all throughout, and it is the best Benicio del Toro performance we've gotten. He
shoots a gun with his finger.
No, that's part 2, isn't it?
Isn't it in both?
Oh,
that's like his signature move.
It might be, yeah. He's doing this the whole time. Yeah. I think it's the best Benicio del Toro since maybe Traffic. And it's multiple weaving of plots all throughout, the drugs between US Mexico border, the one incredibly tense scene happening at the crossing of the border.
So good. My
Deakins putting his fucking foot all up in the movie. Sicario is absolutely excellent. German, have you seen Sicario?
I haven't seen that. That's like probably one of Villeneuve's movies I haven't seen yet.
Oh, do yourself a favor. Leslie, have you checked it out?
We checked it out together.
When you were visiting one time, right?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, but I was also really nervous.
Did you think the crime was going to leap out of the screen and come get you?
No, because I was visiting you for like the first time.
Was that our New Year's visit?
No, I think wasn't it Labor Day?
No, I think it was, because that's how we brought in New Year's, was watching movies. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
I did, and I've watched it again since to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I'm surprised you could focus on the movie sitting next to it.
I mean,
he has that aura about him.
An aura of watch the fucking movie. All right, Leslie, speaking of which, ma'am, it is your turn for your third pick. I'm not a fan of your first two, so where are you going next?
Well, now that you said that, I was debating. I'm still debating. I'm gonna go with The Departed.
The Departed. There it is. I was wondering who would take it. And the Carol Cole's theme Mafia Wankfest continues.
I had to do my part.
Mobsters, they're Irish it's different.
Oh, okay. Now leaving only Jermon and Carol, the only two who don't have mobs. Actually, no, Jermon has Pulp Fiction. Now leaving Carol. Well, you got LA Confidential, so you're in there.
I got LA Confidential, so yeah, there's yeah.
All right. Talk about The Departed, please, Leslie.
I don't think.
I loved the intricacy of the plotting and the double crosses and all of this, all of it. I did not plan my remarks for this draft, as you can tell. No, I thought the performances by both DiCaprio and Damon were just phenomenal, and seeing the lengths that all of them really went to try to protect themselves and their secrets was just interesting and tragic.
Right on.
And a wonderful ending.
Is there a more satisfying movie? Is there a more satisfying scene in a movie that has been put on film than Mark Wahlberg getting shot in the face?
No, probably not.
That was Damon.
Wahlberg never got shot in the face.
Damon that got shot.
Oh, Damon. I'm sorry.
Damon
Wahlberg.
Yeah, it was Wahlberg
a lot
that
of
shot
people
him,
got
which
shot
is
in the
what
face.
made it
To be
unsatisfying.
fair.
Yeah.
I know they all looked the same. Him, Damon, and Wahlberg had the same look the entire movie.
Meathead Bostonites. Just
to this
around.
day, that is my favorite Alec Baldwin role.
Yes.
It's so good. It's perfectly blended to his like personality. And I still quote that every day, almost every day, where he's like, maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself. It is. That actually is a Wahlberg line. But anyways, yes. But
yeah, it is also my favorite. Outside of 30 Rock, it is my favorite Alec Baldwin thing.
That
just
movie,
he breezes in, breezes out.
Yeah, that movie messed me up because like there were points that like nobody had the plot armor. Nobody.
Oh.
I thought Martin Sheen might have plot armor, and then his body was slowly falling from
the
the top of the
scene. I was like, Nicholson got it. Leo got it. I was like, geez.
Anthony Anderson got it.
James Badge Dale, come on.
James Badge Dale gets clapped out. Like, come on, man. I'm not going to see you again until Iron Man 3, James Badge. Brian, what's your thoughts on The Departed real quick?
Yeah, it's if it weren't for like Goodfellas, it would probably be Scorsese's not best movie, but it's second or third. I think as it is, it's like top 5. But like, I think that was another case where like we're talking kind of charity Oscar.
His best director win.
Yeah, because it's like this is for The Departed, but it's kind of for everything, but I mean, nobody does this sort of movie like Martin Scorsese, I think, and it's like as comfortable as you ever see a director is like Scorsese doing a movie about this sort of thing.
Yeah, he's in that life. All right, Carol, your first of two.
Okay, gotta get some Coen Brothers on here. I'm going with Fargo.
Oh, okay. I thought about putting them on the list and decided not to. Why Fargo?
I think because I love Marge Gunderson so much. She's just this awesome character. It's completely unexpected. You have this 8-month pregnant police officer just investigating the hell out of a murder on the side of the road. And I think it's got an underappreciated score. It's such a haunting score. And it's such a cold movie. And not just because it's snowy all the time, but because the characters, with the exception of Marge, are all so cold.
Yeah, not a whole lot of personality in that movie. Although it is my favorite, Steve Buscemi and who's the other guy?
Oh God.
The devil from Gotham.
Peter Stormare.
It's Peter Stormare. Thank you.
Best Lucifer ever.
Best Lucifer on film.
Yeah, by far.
But I think everybody does an excellent job in this one. I just kind of love this movie. It's one of the Coen Brothers films that I watch a bunch.
Right on.
And Steve Buscemi gets put in a wood chipper.
Brian, you got any thoughts on Fargo there, sir?
Again, it's like Coen Brothers classic, man. Like I remember, like, I think the first time I watched this movie, it was probably with my mother, which a lot of these movies we're talking about were like, I'm watching it with my mom. Pulp Fiction was that way, weirdly enough. And it was like, it's like just a list of movies you don't want to watch with your mom for the first time, but Fargo's probably on there. But what a great movie. William H. Macy's performance.
Oh God, yeah.
You're gonna want that top coat.
Yeah.
And the very end where they're dragging him back through the window, you're just like, oh dude, you are a mess.
Like I like I was thinking a little while ago that, like, as far as like the downfall of a character in a movie, Scarface has got to be up there with like the scale of what rock bottom looks like for a character, but William H. Macy's character definitely gets there too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. He plays a great person that gets shit on in movies and TV. He's a good punching bag.
Yeah.
All right, then, Carol, the start of the penultimate round is on you.
Okay. And here's where I lose it, because my last two, I'm just going to choose movies I absolutely love. I'm going. I got to go back to Kurosawa. I'm choosing Ikaru.
Oh.
One of the few films that does not star Toshiro Mifune.
Yep. And that's where Carol bowed out of this whole competition.
Yeah. This is like, I'm going to go with a film that I just love.
The Pete move.
Oh man, that line, God.
That's a kiss of death.
So this one actually stars Takeshi Shimura, who's also in a bunch of Kurosawa films, but plays a bureaucrat who's just worked all his life at the company and knows that he's dying and wants to do something nice. And roadblocks are just thrown at him every step of the way. And it's just a sad, wonderful little film.
This is one of the few Kurosawas I have not seen.
Just the ending with him on the swing set, singing to himself, just happy that he's actually made a tiny, tiny bit of difference before he dies is just, it makes me cry every time.
Right on. Brian, have you seen Ikaru?
No.
Winstead.
I highly recommend everybody watch it.
Winston has brought his little one onto the pod.
Hey, ask her if she's seen Ikaru.
She has. Loves it.
Secret Kurosawa fan base.
Yeah. Oh, you have a young Carol Coles in training over there. All right, that's it. All right then, Leslie, it is back over to you, ma'am.
Okay. For my fourth pick, I'm going to go with a film that Daryl introduced me to. It's a favorite of his for Amy Adams, especially. Nocturnal Animals.
Ooh, this one passes the Pete test for sure.
Yes. It is gorgeous and twisty and tense and kind of traumatic as well. And poor Amy Adams. But just amazing performance by her, by Jake Gyllenhaal. The way the two narratives really, three really, just interplay, the story, the past, and the present. I love it. I love it. It's great. I am getting the stare from Mr. Daryl Mansell. I believe that means I did in fact snipe that from him.
Anybody else got anything on this movie?
Never saw it.
You ever saw Nocturnal? Oh man, do yourself all the favors, man. That's the movie that made me a fan of Amy Adams.
The best Amy Adams has looked is a phrase that I hear about that movie quite often.
I mean, you have a movie directed by Tom Ford who makes, the best clothing there is. Yeah. It better be some of the best.
Michael Shannon, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Isla Fisher. This is a fantastic film.
Michael Shannon it's also my favorite Michael Shannon, maybe.
Yes.
I think it might be this or Midnight Special.
Midnight
Special and the Cannibal Army Hammer
is so good.
Oh, good.
Wait, Army Hammer, is he the
Hammer is Amy Adams' husband?
That's
He's got maybe 2 or 3 scenes. You find out he's cheating or whatever, all that good stuff.
Of course,
There's no peaches in this one.
But now he's just being Army Hammer. All right, back over to me.
You're welcome, honey.
Leslie Ellsworth is banned from all drafts. All right. And
these are those moments I live for when somebody's like list has been torn apart and they're just like distraught.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh boy. I know the thing about it is my list isn't all that torn apart. I still got like a solid 12, 13 movies, but I gotta retool a strategy real quick here. I know how I want to end, and I think that movie is safe. I just gotta see what my penultimate's gonna be.
Oh, is it safe?
Yeah, it's safe. I'm gonna go back in the. Yeah, I'm gonna go back in the days, man. Nope, I'm not gonna do that. All right, so yeah, if we're not gonna cast any, if we can't draft any comic book movies, man, and
then your list is out. You have nothing left.
There's literally only one I can think of that would even make this list.
You got to go with the movie that inspired one of the best comic book movies of all time, and you go with Heat. So that's what I'm going for my list.
Okay.
Yeah, that was going to be my number 5 pick.
That was going to be your last pick. Was Heat?
That's going to be my last pick.
All right. Well, happy to help. Yeah, this is one of those movies that I have not seen in forever, but it's still considered one of the best crime dramas, of all time. De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, just Val Kilmer it up all over the place.
This was Michael Mann in his pocket, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. It is probably the best Michael Mann movie there is. Would you agree with that, Winston?
100%.
Yeah, Brian?
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't think it's close.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Hate to see it then. Carol, what's your thoughts on Heat?
I loved Heat, actually. I went into it thinking I wouldn't like it because, again, it's kind of like it's just one of those crime movies. But I actually really, really came out of that going, that was an awesome film. And I think that was the first time Pacino and De Niro had acted like together in a scene.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any scenes together in Godfather Part 2.
They realized they didn't have any scenes together in Heat. And they're like, whoa, we have to
we gotta have something.
This. We gotta have something.
We gotta sit in a diner or something.
Yeah. So they rectified that, like I think maybe the day of or the day before they wrote that scene and gave it to him. And I've seen that.
And then we got Righteous Kill. So
what say it again?
I said then we got Righteous Kill.
And then that happened. Yay. Yeah, and I've seen those criticisms of Heat, like, oh, that's a horrible scene. It sounded like they were just making shit up, and I'm like, they kind of were mere hours before filming that scene. But yeah, it gives you, two Godfather classics together. And that
still hits though. It's a great scene.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Sad thing is, at this point, like, if the two of them ever did a movie together, it'd probably be an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, that is sad. That is sad.
Sad, but so true at the same time. All right. Jermon, it is back over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, that's actually still safe. We were talking about Steven Spielberg earlier. Two of his movies got picked. I'm going to pick a third one here. The Color Purple.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I realized I had a third Spielberg on my list, but it was Munich.
Oh, another
Really good one.
Yeah.
One movie. Yeah,
Dude,
Color Purple.
I remember actually going to the theater to see The Color Purple when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I never really saw my grandma like just out and about. That was the first time I ever seen her like out to go see that. She showed up for the like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie, like, that was Whoopi Goldberg's first movie, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I mean, it's the best Oprah was ever in a movie as well.
By far. I don't trust Danny Glover to this day because of that
movie. How could you trust a man that's always one day away from retirement?
He's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this shit.
You're never getting him at his best.
I just watched that movie again like a few years ago, and like, yeah, it hit me. It hit me in the feels like the entire way through. Like, there was a lot of stuff in that movie that I remember seeing as a kid that didn't resonate with me until I was, an adult. And good Lord, I was just like watching this, like, men ain't shit. Like, God, like,
yeah, that's kind of the running theme of that movie, that story by Alice Walker. Men ain't shit.
Good Lord.
All right, Brian, sir, it's over to you for your penultimate.
Okay. Man. So like every fiber of my being is like, I gotta get something. There's got to be a classic in here somewhere,
That's where I was hesitating at with Heat.
I know it's always like with Poprika. It's a real like Winstead. You pick Titanic. It's like, okay, maybe, but like Titanic's a movie everyone in Poprika has seen. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows it, and so going classic, it can be a little bit of a, it might not yield the results you're looking for, even though the movie is a classic. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to pick Rear Window.
God damn.
So,
that was
joke,
the one Hitchcock.
I had Rear Window versus 12 Angry Men, and I actually had Rear Window on top, and I was like, you know what? Last minute decision, I'm taking 12 Angry Men instead.
Those
questioning that.
Killer.
Would you say, Carol?
Perry Mason as a killer. Raymond Burr was just flat out scary in that.
Yes, he was.
It's like you're never sure. Like, you, the viewer, is like, this guy doesn't get out much. Jimmy Stewart's sitting there. He doesn't get out very much. He's just confined there, and his mind is going to wander. And he's got this just whole host of characters to just observe out there through the window. And it's not at all unreasonable for him to just start making this shit up and his brain to start filling in the gaps. And especially when he's obviously in a state of delirium most of the time because his girlfriend is goddamn Princess Grace.
What are you going to do?
Looking better than ever.
Best she's ever looked. It was in this movie.
The dresses in that film are just freaking to die for.
Yes, they are. I would wear those dresses in that
The
movie.
establishing shot of her in the movie when she's kind of swoops in and he's kind of waking up, it's like, oh,
Grace.
I was like watching it for the very first time. I'm like, women, I get it.
It is, I think, by far, like, Hitchcock's considered one of the best directors. This is by far and away for me his best movie. Like, everyone touts and lauds Psycho or Vertigo or The Birds or Rope or Rebecca, but or Strangers on a Train. For me, it's easily
North by Northwest.
North by North. Also good. Hey, Cary Grant's suit is somewhere in, I think, the Academy Museum, because it is one of the best looking suits of all time. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it's Rear Window. It's my favorite Hitchcock performance. All the different characters you're talking about, they all have their own stories and arcs and resolutions in the background. And this shit's only like 100 and something minutes, I think. Like, it moves.
It's a brisk movie.
Damn quick. Yeah, so much. Carol, do you have anything on Rear Window before we move on?
Yeah, as much as I love the film, I also think it's kind of creepy that he's spying on all of his neighbors.
Yeah. Well, it's the summertime. Like, he's immobilized.
Yeah, he finds a killer, but dude, you're spying on all of your neighbors. Maybe put the camera down.
Like this is decades before we could start binge watching things. You got 30 minutes of a show, and then you had to wait a whole week, and you had to wait through all this sort of like wheat cake ads and shit.
I would like to know the aftermath of, this guy in our apartment complex was a killer. This other guy in our apartment complex found him. How did you find him out? Well, I was just kind of creeping on all of you, all 19 of you in the building.
Well, I
tell you right now, I gotta get away. Both my legs are broke now. I gotta go now. Javon, have you seen Rear Window?
No, but I've seen the not so great remake of Suburbia.
Yeah.
It's Disturbia, and that movie fucks. And I will take on any one of you.
Is that the Shia LaBeouf joint?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a Shia surprise.
But didn't he do an actual remake with Christopher Reeve?
Of Rear Window?
There was a remake in like 1997, made for TV movie starring Christopher Reeve. Yeah,
and Daryl Hannah.
Oh, all right. God. Shout out to Splash herself. All right, then it is time for Pete-Bot 3000.
Computing titty.
Wow. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right. Pete's next movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Damn, that was on my list.
Okay.
That was on my list.
Yeah. Okay. We said this movie has one of the most iconic Jack Nicholson characters ever written, Randall McMurphy. Equal parts manic and grounded, McMurphy fights against the authority of Louise Fletcher's rage-inducing Nurse Ratched. I would argue that Nurse Ratched is one of the greatest villains in the history of cinema, and Fletcher plays her to perfection. Add to that the first on-screen performances of both Christopher Lloyd and Brad Dourif, and the powerful direction of Milos Forman, and you've got the recipe for an amazing film.
I'm going to take Pete to task on that, because I don't think he would argue on Nurse Ratched being one of the greatest villains, because he won't find anybody who will argue with him on that. I think that
actually,
of course.
Look, I'm just saying, I watched this like last year or something.
You watched it during the pandemic in 2020.
Oh, you're talking about that show?
No,
I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't get the hate.
She thinks she's actually doing her job.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller. Like, we all know Ferris doing something shady.
Well, he took it a step too far, though.
I have to give the caveat that I did not finish the film. I got most of the way through it.
So you didn't get to the worst part.
Probably not. I just got to a point where it's like, okay, he's an asshole and a dick and he's causing problems and I'm kind of on her side.
Should probably finish the movie.
I never viewed Nurse Ratched as inherently evil. I think she just takes her job entirely too seriously. And she has very specific things that she thinks she has to do for her job.
So
and she doesn't care who she hurts doing it.
Did she want things all perfectly balanced as they should be?
No.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess what I don't get is all of the hate, but I guess not seeing the whole thing. I just
don't think she doesn't have empathy, and that's the problem. She's got rules and you will follow them, and she has no empathy as to who she's dealing with, because these are people who can't follow rules.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man.
And so it's at the very least, he's not a good fit for the position.
So Will Sampson is awesome in this film.
So good. He's huge.
So good.
All right. Here we go. Winstead. It is the last of round 4 and the beginning of round 5, aka your last 2 picks.
All right. This one, I don't know about the fight for it or not. It might go to a vote. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with The Silence of the Lambs.
That was on my list. I took it off because I consider that horror. I do consider that horror.
Yeah.
I think that qualifies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it qualifies. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and like Carol was saying, like I didn't know people were gonna be like, well, that's a horror movie.
It's on my list.
I think the second one is more of a horror than this one.
Oh, Hannibal?
Yeah.
Well, Hannibal just delves. I hate Hannibal. I
did
absolutely
not care for that at all.
Hate Hannibal. I hate the book worse than I hate the movie. But this one I thought was borderline. It was on my list and I took it off because I'm like, I shelved this with the horror films, so I'm going to consider it horror.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with leaving it.
All right, go for it, Winstead. What you got on it?
Another one of the greats. Another one, Anthony Hopkins, just out of his mind. Jodie Foster as kind of like the audience's kind of through point. Ted Levine being creepy and a lot of lotion. There's not much to hate here.
A lot of lotion, man.
Breakout performance by Precious.
I mean, it gave us our young Jodie Foster, right?
Yep.
Come on, she was young in Sweet. Well, she was young in Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Yes. We will be mentioning that here shortly.
Will we?
I was at the market when I was at the market yesterday.
Jodie Foster was there?
No, Jodie Foster was not there at the market.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I actually saw Fava Beans for the first time.
Okay.
Did you get them with a nice Chianti?
Nice
I didn't have Chianti, so I couldn't get it.
How many minutes is Anthony Hopkins in that film? I think that was one of the ones where he won Best Actor for something like less than 15 minutes of screen
I think it was like 17 minutes, maybe.
Oh, good for him.
But they left a mark.
They left a mark.
Yeah, that's it. Like he functions in that movie the same way that Bruce the Shark does in Jaws, right? It's just the terror comes from knowing he's there, and you, the audience, not being able to do a goddamn thing about when he's coming back and what he's going to do when he gets here.
Right.
I can only imagine, like, getting to certain points in the movie where Jodie Foster, like Clarice Starling's like, oh goddamn, I got to talk to him again.
Yeah, and I understand that every bit of the way.
We would have conducted that whole thing over Snapchat if it took place today.
Okay.
A Zoom call.
It's with the blood filter. It's not a filter.
Winstead, what is your last choice, sir?
Oh, again with the man, I don't like going first. This is my first time going first in a draft, and do not like. I just feel so judged right now.
As well, you should.
I have like 8 movies right now that I need to choose from, and they're all some of my favorites. Oh man, I'm gonna go with. Oh boy! I mean, I got Best Picture winners here. I got all kinds of nonsense, and I have
Crash.
no
The temptation
idea.
is there to pick Crash. I
Go ahead.
advise against it.
Go ahead with the Green Book. It's okay.
That's between Crash and Green Book. I don't know what to do, you guys.
We can add Coda to
man.
that list too.
Okay. There's a pick on here. I can't do it because it's a great movie and it's a crowd pleaser, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go with. This hurts, y'all. This hurts. I'm going to go.
We'll give you a
five
second.
movies.
We'll give
Only
you a
5
second.
movies. All right. I'm not doing that one. No, I'm not doing that one. That one hurts not to put on. But I want to win this thing. And I don't know if this is going to help me or not. I hope it does.
It was much better when we had Guardians of the Galaxy to rely on.
Brandy would have been got that one.
Oh boy. You guys, I'm sorry. This is not good podcast, but
oh no, your struggling is very entertaining to the rest of us.
Bring the kid back. Where's the kid?
Make her choose.
Let the kid make the pick.
I'm gonna go with
Choose a sword, choose the ball.
Forrest Gump.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Forrest Gump is a film that I really love it. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies like Shawshank that I think is just like a little bit overrated because of all the love that it gets. And I'm not saying it's not a great movie because it is a great movie. And he shows LBJ his butt. I just, yeah. If I had like 2 more votes, 2 more spots, I would put on some of my like personal, like these ones that have to be on it. But gonna go with Forrest Gump. Can't go wrong with Tom Hanks.
Can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. And Winstead's list is Goodfellas, Parasite, Titanic, Silence of the Lambs, and Forrest Gump. How are you feeling, sir?
I like it.
All
That's
right.
pretty strong.
Winstead
Pretty strong.
approved. All right, then.
There's a lot of popular movies there too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
It's time for Pete Bot 3000.
Caligula, abort.
Malcolm McDowell. All right.
Watch malfunctioning.
Cum is spraying everywhere. All right. The final pick for the Pete Bot 3000, man, is Taxi Driver.
Oh,
There it is.
That's what,
Yeah.
I like how the Peapod has like nothing modern on it, like at all.
So,
no,
did-
no, it doesn't.
not the lift.
Peapod hasn't gotten a system update in a couple of decades.
No,
I think
no, nothing.
1983 is his most recent movie.
He's like Johnny Five, basically.
Did Peapot get sniped at all?
Peapod did get sniped. Let me look here. He got sniped on Shawshank, and that's it.
Okay.
Oh
It's the
wow.
only one he got sniped on. Yeah, a little bit of Brian Martin nastiness there. Yeah, Taxi Driver. It's a yet another Scorsese movie. We can thank this for that god awful Joker movie that we got the other year. What's your thoughts on Taxi Driver there, Winstead?
Taxi Driver, it's great. As a formidable youth, it was probably my favorite movie for the longest time. It's very angsty. But yeah, I mean, it's Scorsese doing his Scorsese thing, but like, you know, the original Scorsese thing.
Yeah.
It's been emulated and copied, and you know, I can't tell you how many actors are channeling you know, Travis
Bickle. Yeah. Carol, you got anything there?
It's in a very uncomfortable movie
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, but it's not like a bad uncomfortable. I think De Niro is amazing in it, but it is a very uncomfortable movie. It's not a movie I put on a lot. Just, oh, I'm going to sit down and watch Taxi Driver tonight.
No one says
No,
that.
it's not a feel-good movie at all.
All right then. So
I would say, like, I think at some point, like Scorsese, when he was in his youth, was just walking through like New York and looked down and saw the rank assiest, dirtiest fucking gutter ever in the
That's my
city of
movie.
New York, and said, "I'm going to build an entire career out of movies that are just that gutter."
You might not be wrong. So it's right by the subways. As soon as you come out the steps, it's right there.
You know whatever the gutter that rat that took that pizza slice from the subway that one
time. that's it right there. All right, P3000. His list is The Godfather, Schindler's List, Scarface, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Taxi Driver.
God damn it, we're gonna lose to a fucking robot.
What happened to Ken Jennings?
What were you gonna say, Leslie?
I don't recall.
Yeah, that's
a very tough list.
A very storied list. And Mr. Martin, your fifth and final.
Like, there hasn't been nearly as much sniping today as I imagine there would be, and I essentially have my movies on my list divided into three categories: top tier being the ones that I would go for the fastest, mid tier being most of the other movies that I'm like, oh, kind of weighing. LA Confidential, 12 Angry Men was in there, Sicario. They're ones that I was just like, this is kind of floating around and maybe I'll pick it at some point. And then I have my dark horses, which I've picked none of, right? And there are some in there that I'm just like, whoa, that would be quite the dark horse. And I'm gonna go to the dark horses here for the final pick, because I kind of want something a little more modern. And we were talking about tension earlier, and then like the feeling of this pervasive feeling of tension, sitting watching movies. And for me, no movie in recent memory has captured the feeling of being in an anxiety attack for a solid 2 hours, quite like Uncut Gems.
I was gonna pick that. It was between that and Forrest Gump. I'm so glad it's on your list, though.
Yeah, I loved that movie. Like, and I have an anxiety problem. Like, I take meds every day, and like I went in, the meds didn't work, man. Did nothing. This movie is just a absolute just roller coaster. I mean, I can't believe Adam Sandler made a list like this, but like his performance in that movie, it's like from the minute he walks on screen the first time, you're like, when is shit gonna catch up with this guy? And then it's like an hour and a half later, you're like, is shit gonna catch up with this guy? Like, is he gonna outrun all the shit? Of course, well, what happens, but what a ride. What a fucking ride.
Yeah. It's nonstop. And that 4K Criterion is so good.
Yeah, it's another one of those. Like, that was a quick turnaround for Criterion.
Gotta lock that thing down.
Scoop that bad boy real quick. Still waiting for that first cow. Criterion wins that. It's gonna happen one of these days. You and me are gonna make that happen. It's absolutely mind-boggling that we can have Adam Sandler turn into performance like this, man. Just extra dope. The Safdie brothers have put their stamp on film. Between this and Good Time, I think they have announced are they doing Moon Knight right now? Who's doing? No, that's Benson and Moorhead doing Moon Knight right now. Yeah. But still, I'm definitely looking forward to the next thing that the Safdie brothers do. Javon, did you check out Uncut Gems?
I haven't had a chance to check that out yet.
Yeah, get your gems uncut, sir. Leslie, you checked out Uncut Gems. What do you think about it?
I did. I think that is a film I don't need to see more than once.
I'm putting it on as soon as we're done with this.
No.
So good.
It was good. It was well acted. It was not quite
Relaxing.
well, yeah, not quite relaxing. It was anxiety inducing, but not like fear. Like it was a different kind of anxiety for me. Just tense and uncomfortable.
I think we've all had a busy day at work, I think is where that's the root of the anxiety in Uncut Gems. We've all felt like there's too much on my plate today. And like Adam Sandler's character is like, give me more. I need more on my plate. Yeah, I'm gonna come. Give me more, you know. And it's like,
holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Oh God, please no.
Eventually, you just have too much on your plate. That would be the theme of Uncut Gems. Is like, eventually, you just have too much.
Yeah, too much Kevin Garnett.
And maybe stop gambling is the other theme of Uncut Gems. Right. It gave us Julia Fox, which led to a weird Kanye relationship for a little bit.
Wait, who was she in that?
She's his
the girlfriend,
younger girlfriend. Yes,
the side piece.
The side piece, yes. Idina Menzel turning in a great performance as
The Weeknd.
Really does do quite a job on this.
Yeah, she does a great job telling it like it is to his face as well. All right, then. Well played. Brian's list of 5: Shawshank Redemption, Saving Private Ryan, Before Sunrise, Rear Window, and Uncut Gems. How are you feeling, sir?
Solid.
I mean, I feel like I would watch any 4 of those movies right this second. So I feel good about it.
All right. Remains to be seen what people have to say about it. As you did that. All right, then. Jermon Jackson, your final pick, sir.
Last pick here. Let's see here. Do I go with no? I was thinking of going for recency bias, but no. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and my last pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
So what? John Singleton's debut, and a goddamn strong debut at that. Like, was he the youngest director nominated for Best Director?
Yes, it is. Yes, he is. Thanks to this movie.
God damn that.
It really put Ice Cube on the map as a certifiable actor.
He was looking back at that, like Ice Cube really actually did a good job in that movie.
Yeah. Without Boys in the Hood, we don't get Friday, which I think a lot of people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne is Furious Styles, man. That was just he should have gotten recognized for that. Dude.
The ultimate dad is what Lawrence Fishburne is in that movie. Like he wins every Father's Day.
That was right in the middle when he was on Pee-wee's Playhouse too. Let's not forget that. Really proving his range.
Yeah. Just the unflinching look. This is part of that like time in the 90s where it was like, we're going to show you what the West Coast is all about. You get this, you get Menace to Society, you get South Central, you get Juice. But this is the actual good one of them all.
Yeah, I would argue that kind of like, started off the genre there. But yeah, of course, like to diminishing returns, every subsequent film that came after that.
Yeah, but thankfully,
I think Hollywood took some of the wrong lessons, I think, from its success. It's like, hey, let's do a bunch of other hood movies.
Yeah, but without those, we don't get Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, which is
message.
A great movie. All right, then. 8 minutes. All right, it's on me, man.
We got to.
Jermon's list. Pulp Fiction, of course. Moonlight, Do the Right Thing, The Color Purple, Boys in the Hood. How you feeling, sir?
That's pretty good. I think that. I just realized that's probably outside of Pulp Fiction. That's probably one of the blackest lists I've ever
I was just about to say that. Like you went blackety black on that list.
But then again, Pulp Fiction, I guess you could kind of, for Sam's performance, you could
listen. Marcellus Wallace is a black ass dude. That movie.
Oh, Ving Rhames, good God.
Yeah. He shows up in Indochina. All right then. Pretty fucking far from okay. It is on me for my final pick. I'm gonna go 7. I'm gonna
on
go.
My list.
I am gonna go 7.
That's also borderline horror.
Yes, I agree. That is borderline horror, but
we left Silence of the Lambs, so we gotta let 7.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think because I think I think in the case of like horror, it's if it's not supernatural, then it probably involves like a crime if it's not like a jump scare kind of movie. I'm thinking like the difference between like The Exorcist, which I would not consider in the drama.
Oh no,
Yeah, and there's literally only
Well, no, but
one
that's-
jump scare in that movie.
But there's only one jump scare in that movie. That's when that corpse is still alive, right?
You're talking about when he's laid out on the bed, and he coughs up
And he starts breathing. Yeah, right.
Your boy John C. McGinley's all freaked out.
So, yeah, I
was
think
freaked out.
7 absolutely drama. 100%.
Yeah. Listen, if I can't get The Dark Knight, I'm gonna get Heat, and if I can't get the Batman, I'm gonna get 7. So yeah, it is considered one of the greatest crime movies outside of maybe Heat and Godfather Part 2. It gave us the ultimate Batman and Robin movie with Mills and Somerset. The aging Morgan Freeman playing off of the way too energetic and exuberant Brad Pitt all throughout that movie. It is just wonderful. Always raining, dour, bleak. One of the bleakest movies I think that's come out of mainstream Hollywood in a while, and it kind of really put Fincher on the map and is giving us some wonderfully great movies since then.
Very, very brilliant ending.
Brilliant ending as well. Yeah. Yes, very and iconic. Everybody knows what's in the box and where that comes from. Thanks for this movie.
And Kevin Spacey gets killed again.
And
he gets shot again.
we get another Kevin Spacey getting killed movie. So everything works out just wonderfully in this movie. Is what I'm trying to say here. My list is 7 Samurai, The Godfather Part 2, Sicario, Heat, and 7. Very crime filled.
A lot of crime.
A lot of crime there, but that's what I am attracted to. And looking at the rest of my list, it's all crime as well. All right, then. Now I got a couple of hangers-ons that I just couldn't justify getting on there. Leslie, your final pick, ma'am.
I thought I had it narrowed down to 2 because I really wanted both of them on the list. And then Brian made his pick, and that made me think of a third that hasn't even been on my list at all, but was just like, blue.
You did make a face earlier that you just realized you had something in the oven, and I was wondering what that face was all about.
I think I'm going to go for it. It might ruin it. I don't know. But I'm going to go with another movie that's exhausting and tense and just
ass
sort of
to
emotionally
ass to ass
just sort of emotionally takes it all out of you, because I think it is so well done, and that is Malcolm and Marie.
Oh my God.
Like, Zendaya is phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Everything, like the talks, the fights, the stress. Like I I think I made this comment when Daryl and I were watching it, which is, the fight scenes that they have, that's what the Marriage Story wanted to be. It's
Black Marriage Story.
Feels so raw, and on the one hand, it feels really toxic. On the other hand, it feels like, well, maybe it works for them because they're working through their shit. They're communicating. They're listening-ish. But is it exhausting?
It popped up on Douglas Davison's top 10 for 2020 list. I think it was like number 10 or number 9 on that list.
That movie was so frustrating. Like, I was literally like halfway through that movie. I was like, just fucking break up already.
Break up, shut up. Yeah. Those are your only 2 options in this movie.
Yeah.
We're all watching it, and then like halfway through the movie, there's a knock at the door. And one of them goes to answer, and Germain's just there on screen with like a box of chocolates and some flowers. Do that.
Oh, it was one of those Bandersnatch type joints. Okay.
Because literally at one point I was like over macaroni and cheese, really?
Carol, did you see Malcolm and Marie?
I have not.
Oh,
so I'm going to add that to my list.
Be prepared to just be annoyed for 2 hours.
yeah, there was a lot of, why don't you just shut up? Now is not the time. And like, but why would you say it like that? Just listen, just leave each other alone. Lots of yelling.
Yeah, lots of yelling. Leslie's List. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, 12 Angry Men, The Departed, Nocturnal Animals, and Malcolm and Marie. How are you feeling, ma'am?
I feel like it's a list I enjoy. Heavy on the relationships. But I think it's a solid drama list.
I think it's a solid drama list. Carol Coles, to end this whole thing off. No pressure on you whatsoever to bring us home on our final pick. You look very cool, very calm, very collected. Your glasses are on. For some reason, you're the only one who's in a Snyder Cut aspect ratio for me. but I'm ready.
It's interesting.
You. Yeah.
Oh gosh, do I do David Fincher or Satoshi Kon?
Ooh, what's going to get you them votes?
I probably already lost this with Ikaru, so
your words, not mine.
I'm gonna go with Zodiac.
There it is.
Nice.
Between Zodiac or 7 for
nice.
me. Yeah.
Zodiac is so good.
Made me totally uncomfortable, probably because I knew it was a true story.
Made me totally uncomfortable because I'm like, that's probably how Robert Downey Jr. was at one point in his real life.
Yeah. The murder scenes are filmed so scarily. That the scene with the couple by the lake, just that scene alone was just like, holy God, and that's how it happened. And I'm just like, but I think a great performance in that. It's really, really well directed. It's frustrating because we have no idea who that person was. Well, we probably do, but he never paid for his crimes.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing.
When I think of Zodiac, that's the scene I think of, is the murders by the lake.
By the lake. That's just such a well done scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my other choice was the only Satoshi Kon film that I could have chosen, but I'm gonna go with Zodiac.
All right, then. Carol's final list: In the Mood for Love, LA Confidential, Fargo, Ikaru, and Zodiac. How are you feeling, Matt?
I'm feeling good. A lot of one-word titles there.
Yeah, a lot of one-word titles there. All right.
Except for In the Mood for Love.
All right, well, we will see how this whole thing plays out. If I can move quickly enough, voting will be up tomorrow at the time of this recording.
Nice,
so
nice.
Yeah, we will see how this goes. Draftamania, recorded the same day as WrestleMania by a pure coincidence that I scheduled. So we'll see how this bad boy goes, man. We'll be back in a year to do another one of these Draftamanias. We'll see what other draft winners might be joining us. Maybe Pete 3000 will actually be able to join us. But,
I would hope to be at the Pete 4000 by then.
I would be 4000 by then.
What does the winner of this get?
The winner of this gets the title of Ultimate Draft Champion, and that's about it. So don't be expecting anything in the mail when you do not win. That's it for this bit of business. We'll be back in 2 months with a regular old school draft. But on behalf of myself, Winstead, Pete 3000, Brian Germain, Leslie, and our draft champ, Carol Coles, that's it for Draftamania. So you all take it easy and have